All right, rowdy crowds taking over the planned speech by white nationalist Richard Spencer, cutting the event short at the University of Florida.
Here now to weigh in, campusreform.org correspondent Daniel Weldon, who attends the University of Florida. Daniel, thanks for joining us this morning. Look, you had some $600,000 spent on police, on snipers, on helicopters, drones, barricades. This is coming out of taxpayers' pockets here, okay? Why not just not go?
Yeah, I completely agree. I mean, I just want to start off by saying that Richard Spencer and his ideas are completely vile and disgusting, and they certainly don't represent me nor conservatism. But we do live in a free society, and that means that everybody, no matter how bad their views are, has the freedom of speech. Now, the whole event has been kind of really crazy this week. I mean, you saw a president at the University of Florida saying that he was both shocked and surprised by what the freedom of speech entails. You had Rick Scott obviously declaring the state of emergency, and you had students who felt emboldened by these different things to come out and protest for not having classes on Thursday, and for even President Fox to resign.
Yeah.
Quite honestly, I think we're all adults, and we can decide what is and is not hate speech for ourselves.
Well, Dan, I mean, obviously Richard Spencer is an extreme example of this, but we've seen, even conservative speakers an attempt to silence them on campuses, and that's where I think it gets really hairy, because I can understand not wanting to hear somebody, speak about, white supremacy. I mean, that makes sense to me in some weird way, even though I do believe in the right to free speech. But to silence just a conservative speaker, what do you say to people that want to do that?
Well, it kind of reminds me of what happened to me in the spring. I brought Ben Shapiro to my campus in the spring, and many of these same people who are calling for Richard Spencer to not have his event were calling for Ben Shapiro to not be able to speak on our campus. Now, the two couldn't be polar opposites, but unfortunately, sometimes doing the right thing isn't always the easy thing. And it's easy to say, yes, the guy with the terrible views doesn't have the same rights as us, but at what point do we draw that line in the sand where no, the administration can't decide who can and can't speak on college campuses? And I think conservatives end up feeling the brunt of it.
So how would you like to see this handled going forward then? Because obviously this isn't really changing. You're seeing it from coast to coast.
Yeah, I'd like to see a difference, especially in the classrooms. I think a lot of students need to be better educated about the First Amendment and how to handle these situations, especially when it comes to in the classroom. You have leftist teachers indoctrinating students, and you have even peers on campus attacking conservatives for their views. Conservatives are the ones on campus coming out and fighting for our First Amendment rights and fighting for our individual freedoms. And truly, we need to fix this problem somehow in our country.
Yeah, it's a slippery slope when you start to silence people in any situation. It goes right downhill.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much, Dan, for coming on this morning. We do appreciate it.
Thank you very much.